Matthew chapter 7. Matthew chapter 7. Matthew chapter 7, verse number 7. Coming from the New King James Version as well as the Message Bible. Matthew chapter 7, verse number 7. We declared on last Sunday that 2020 will be a year that we walk in bold faith. So all month long, that is our topic for 2020, bold faith. Paul, in his exhortation to Timothy last week, reminded us that God has not given us the spirit of fear, but power, love, and a sound mind. Jesus, in his Sermon on the Mount, Matthew chapter 7, beginning with verse number 7, according to the New King James Version, says this: ask, and it will be given to you. Seek, and you will find. Knock, and it will be opened to you. For everyone who asks receives, and he who seeks finds, and to him who knocks it will be opened. But what man is there among you, if a son asks for bread, he will give him a stone? Or if he asks for a fish, he will give him a serpent? If you then, being evil, know how to give good gifts to your children, how much more will your Father who is in heaven give good things to those who ask him? Message Bible says it like this. Peterson, in his Message Bible, a little more contemporary read, says, don't bargain with God. Be direct. Ask for what you need. This isn't a cat and mouse hide and seek game we're in. If your child asks for bread, do you trick him with sawdust? If he asks for a fish, do you scare the live steak on his plate? As bad as you are, you wouldn't do such a thing. You're at least decent to your own children. So don't you think the God who conceived you in love will be even better? And the church said, amen. Amen. As you take your seat, look at your neighbor and say, bold faith. Bold faith. Say it again, bold faith. That's what we're going to talk about this morning. Do it again in Jesus' name. Before going a formal introduction, allow me the preaching privilege of homiletical latitude to simply jaywalk into the text. When we step into the scene in the scripture of the text today, we land amongst the concluding verses of Jesus' famous Sermon on the Mount. Backing up from where we are to see how we got there, in Matthew chapter number 5, Jesus began his sermon, his speech, his messianic monologue, while his disciples and followers were assembled with him on the summit of Mount Capernaum, modern day called the Mount of Beatitudes. Jesus begins speaking in Matthew chapter number 5, verse number 3, and doesn't conclude until 107 verses later in Matthew chapter 7, verse number 26. It is in this powerful proclamation that our eternal example, Jesus, gives the listener and the reader through the principles, concepts, and most important, need-to-know items regarding living a God-led and Christ-filled life. Here it is. It is in this sermon that Jesus informs, inspires, and engages his followers and disciples to live our best God-led life. Jesus informs, inspires, and engages his followers on how to live our best God-led life. Here it is, because Jesus just didn't come to save our lives. Jesus came to change our lives. I think I need to say that again. Jesus didn't just come to save our lives, but he came to change our lives. Change. Let the church say change. Yeah, Jesus came to change our lives. He came to change my life, your mama's life, your daddy's life, your granddaddy's life, your cousin's life, your boo's life, your ex-boo's life, somebody else's boo's life. He came to change our lives. And I feel I need to hang out there just for a little while, my brothers and sisters, because somebody needs to be reminded that our Savior didn't just come to save your soul, but Jesus also came to change your life. It's his words, not mine. Come here, John. Testify. John 10:10. Jesus says, the thief does not come except to steal, to kill, and to destroy. I have come that you may have life and that they may have it more abundantly. Catch this. Jesus points out and paints a powerful picture in this simple statement that there's a thief that comes to take from your life. But unlike the thief, he didn't come to take from your life. He came to add to your life. But he's not just talking about him and the thief. Really, he's painting the portrait and the picture of the two type of people there are in the world and in your life. There are some people who are like a thief. They're only in your life to take from you, to steal, kill, and destroy. But there's someone else who is God ordained, sent to help you live life, but not just live it more abundantly. Jesus says, I didn't come to take from you. I've come to give to you, and in giving to you, I'm going to give you a change that you can't find anywhere else. Oh, what a wonderful change has been wrought since Jesus came into my heart. And I believe if I had the time to survey the sanctuary and pass the mic amongst the pews, there'll be some saints seated in this sanctuary who can testify Jesus has changed my life. Jesus came to change our lives. He came to change our thoughts. He came to change our worlds, to change our words, to change our relationships, to change our walk, to change our interactions, to change our focus, to change our habits, to change our desires, to change our dependency, also that he could change our destiny. Jesus came to change our lives. And one of the changes that Jesus was seeking to suggest in his Sermon on the Mount is that one of the steps and stages of a changed life is a changed perspective. Yeah, to change your life is to change your perspective. Let the church say perspective. Yeah, perspective, as you heard me say previously, is not just what you see, but perspective is how you see. Yeah, perspective is not just what you see, but perspective is how you see. Because you can be looking at the same thing as somebody else, but see something totally different. Perspective is not just what you see, but how you see. As 2020 is declared by so many as the year of vision, and everybody get their eyesight right. You get your Christian cataracts removed and get your 2020. Can I tell you something? You can have brand new eyes, but still have old sight if you don't change your old mind. Preach me, I'm trying to by myself. That you have to change your perspective in order to change the promise of possibility of what God is trying to show you. Bold faith, my brothers and sisters, requires a new perspective. If we want to live 2020 as a year of bold faith, we have to get some new perspective. Let somebody say new perspective. Yeah, bold faith requires a new perspective. Here it is. You can't walk into a new year with old eyes expecting to see something new. Here it is. Insanity is believed to be doing the same thing over and over again, but expecting different results. Can I tell you something? If you don't change your perspective, you won't change what you see. So sometimes God has to change some things in us before he changes some things around us, so that we will see how he has done it all for the betterment of us. To change our perspective, how you see God determines the God that you see, and the God that you see determines the God that you serve. How we see and serve him affects how we approach him. And really, Jesus here was getting us to recalibrate our perspective so that he could allow us to approach God with a new tenacity, zeal, and fortitude in having a bold faith. You see, bold faith necessitates a bold approach. Hebrews 4:16 says, let us come therefore boldly before the throne of grace, that we might obtain mercy and find grace to the help, for grace to help in the time of need. Jesus lives for us some important insights and information. He says, listen, ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you will find. Knock and it will be open to you. Anyone who asks receives, and he who seeks finds, and him who knocks it will be open. Let me go right here for a second. Here it is. The first thing Jesus says is ask. Let the church say ask. You see, asking, my brothers and sisters, is an exercise of the mouth, but it's an extension of the mind. That's right. Asking is an exercise of the mouth, but it's an extension of the mind. I'll say it again. Asking is an exercise of the mouth, but it's an extension of the mind. You see, you can ask from your mouth what you haven't already established. Talk to me if you don't have. And if we're going to live 2020 with bold faith, then we must have a willingness to take the next step. Here it is, not just to try to get our life right, I'm gonna mess with somebody, but to get our mind right. Yeah, I know you're feeling right over there, because your life can only go as far as your mind will allow it to go. Whatever you think you can and can't do, you're right. And so what we have to do is recalibrate our cerebral cortex to understand that in order for it to make its way to our mouths, it has to establish itself in our minds. Well, why is that important, Pastor? I'm glad you asked. Because it was from the mouth of God that everything that was made was made. And you missed that if we're made in his image and after his likeness, then the power that rested in his mouth will rest also in our minds. That's why you have to be careful what you allow to rest in your mouth, because it's a result of your mind, which means you have must meditate on it to allow that which was not to become so. So if you keep saying you're going to be sick, watch this, you will be. If you keep saying you don't have no money, guess what? You won't ever get it. If you keep saying you're going to be alone, guess what? You won't find yourself. But if you set up in your mind that that's where I may be right now, but I'm working to a better situation, then you don't have to worry about your external circumstance. Your internal contentment can allow your mouth to make your situation all the better. Asking is an exercise of the mouth, but an extension of the mind. I wish I could just take credit for that, but really here it is. It's an extension of psychotherapy, psychoanalysis by Sigmund Freud, who lets us know that the product of the mouth really comes from what he considered the three stages of the mind. The conscious, number one, the pre or subconscious, number two, depending on what side of the aisle you fall on, and the unconscious. Here it is, the conscious mind represents that which is cognitively ready for us to pull from our remembrance. The pre-conscious or subconscious mind is things that, here it is, it's there, but it might not be readily available, but you can still pull from it as a resource. That long-term memory that causes us to have to reminisce for a little bit of time, but here it is. He says there's an unconscious mind that therefore is picked up by theologians as the spirit of the mind that rests in, that finds itself resting in the feelings that we have. So here it is, while we may not be consciously thinking about it, because it's internally on the inside of us, dealing and but not only does he say ask, he also says seek. You see, while asking is an exercise of the mouth, but an extension of the mind. Seeking is the attention of the eyes and the assertion of effort. Here it is. It's in my asking that I put my mind to it, but it's in my seeking that I put my will and my effort to. It's in my seeking that I move beyond the sedentary and begin to engage in activity that will make it happen. Okay. If that's too theological, let me go to you. Here it is. Little game we used to play called hide and seek. Anybody ever play hide and seek? Come on, testify that you play hide and seek. Y'all play something else. You play hide and seek. Here it is. Hide and seek is the purpose. One person counts while everybody else hides. And when you get to the number, here it is. You have to go and find the people that hide. It doesn't matter how long or how little I count. But when I stop counting, I can't find anyone that I don't go seeking out. That me remaining in the same spot does not give me what I'm seeking and what I'm chasing and what I'm pursuing. It's in my active seeking, moving, going after and trying to find those that are hiding from me that I discover things, people, and I discover things and people in places that I would not have normally discovered if I stayed in the same place. Y'all are praying. It's in my seeking that I find them hiding behind the chair, hiding behind the tree, hiding over around the corner. Guess what? But I never would have known they were there if I did not go seeking after them. What are you saying, people? I'm trying to tell you, you're not going to find everything that God has for you staying in the same place. But you're going to have to get up from your seat, stand up on your feet, and go chasing after some stuff. You're going to have to go seeking so that you can find. Here it is. Asking, exercise of the mouth, is an extension of the mind. Seeking is the attention and the effort of the eyes, the assertion of effort. Because really, seeking goes beyond your eyesight. Seeking goes into your effort. And really, if I had time to deal with it, I would really tell you that if you understood how the optics of the eye work, you would know that really we don't see right side up, we really see upside down. And it's the product of the mind that takes what was upside down and makes it right side up. So really by faith you've seen what you don't see in order to see what you hope you will see as you put your feet to seek after it. It's just God letting you know it ain't your mind playing tricks on it. But it's you having a picture in your mind to really be able to see and seek what you need to say. Seeking is not just looking in essence. I'm trying to tell you, seeking is launching. That when we seek, we don't stay in the same place, but we launch out to be where we need to be. He said ask. That's right. He says seek. Yes. But I love it because thirdly he says knock. All right. Knocking simply is the execution of ability. Come on, Pastor. While asking gets it in my mouth, seeking, here it is, puts it in my heart, my legs. It is knocking that really is the final step of faith to make what I am desiring actually attainable. Knocking is the follow-through of faith. All right. Okay, let me celebrate. So we slide through it, celebrate on. Knocking takes faith from just being in your mouth, in your mind, to now, after you have put your legs to go to it, knocking is the follow-through for you to actually do it. Okay. Let me put it together. Find slide. Here it is now. Asking requests a door. All right. Seeking finds To where some of us have enough faith to get to the door, but you don't have enough courage to knock and go in. And what God says is you have to have enough trust and bold faith in me that any door I put you in front of, that even if you've never walked through it before, and I'm telling you it's time to go in it, you just need to knock because it will be open to you. I'm trying to help somebody to let you know that in 2020, if you're going to live a life of bold faith, there's some stuff you just got to step up to and knock. But I love the scripture, but I have to take it from a New Testament understanding to a current contemporary day of application, because many doors that we come to now, we don't have to just knock just to open, because that's the old school way of opening doors. But if you've ever been to Walmart, if you've ever been to Publix, if you've ever been to Milo, if you've ever been to Walgreens, if you've ever been to CVS, you know there's something called a sensory door, to where you don't have to knock and put your hand on the handle. You just have to get close enough to the door and it'll open up for you on your own. I don't know who I'm talking to, but I come to tell somebody that in 2020 with bold faith, it's some stuff God says when you get to it, I'm not even going to make you have to knock. I'm just going to open it up for you. I don't know who I'm talking to, but is there anybody here who's made it up in their mind that in 2020 I'm going after everything God has promised me? If it's in my heart, I'm going to get it in my hands. If it's in my mouth, I'm going to have it in my mind. Because I'm going to get what God told me to get. I'm going to go where God told me to go. I'm going to do what God told me to do. Is there anybody here, I feel like preaching, that's got boldness in their body that says in 2020 I'm walking into my destiny. I'm walking into my future. I'm walking into my promise. I'm walking to where God wants me to be. I can tell you in 22 minutes and 18 seconds. Simply, you just have to have bold faith. Ask, seek, and knock. Ask, seek, and knock. Ask, put your mouth open. Seek, put your movement to it. And knock, make it manifest. And watch God blow your mind. For this is the word of the Lord.